Folks, it is the wind up. I've already had my coffee, and we're doing a little bit of building before I gotta zoom out the door to work. We got round about 30-ish minutes, because I tend to head over to the next door around 3, and that way I got enough time to do a quick little morning stream before the walk home around 12 o'clock-ish sometime. Now, I'm scheduled to get off at 12. Will I get off at 12? Oops, let me bring that mic on down. Can you hear me better? Morning. If I get off at 12, which is the plan, I will likely start streaming no later than 12:45, 1 o'clock, because I'm going to have to walk around about a block to get to the market, and then after I get to the market, I got to pick up my friend's prescription. I'm not going to film that because I got to go into the store and all that. I find that to be a bit tacky. So I'll probably start filming from the outside of the store as we walk on home from the market. Let y'all know what it's like to go shopping at the proper market here in U Harley, and how much our good city shows kindness to pedestrians. Give you a spoiler alert for that one, chat. If they don't, I'm going to be walking through some very dangerous conditions with medication my friend has to stay alive, so not a lot of choice. I get to play the part of Balto today. But I do look forward to y'all showing up for that if y'all are interested. We'll be talking about environmental stuff, what you can do to grow more sustainable food sources for friends and neighbors, as well as just my general bitching about the environment and the system as it is, you know. We'll try not to get too heated, and we'll try to keep it nice. But you know how it be when you struggle busting through and everyone else seems to be having an easy time of it. Even though I know for a fact none of us have an easy time. Check on your old people and neighbors, folks. Caring and sharing is what'll get us through. Like I said, y'all, I try to give y'all the energy I can at the early part of the day, because I know by the end of the day I shall be exhausted. This is my early morning shift, so I'll probably have to go in there. I start the cooking, so if last shift was kind to us, it shouldn't be too difficult. I can just throw prep food in the stove and get it on the flat top cooking. If last shift wasn't so kind to us, what I'm used to, I'll need to plate bacon, I'll need to break ham out the freezer, I'll need to check the freezer as that door was starting to break at its hinges. Oh buddy, it's gonna be a fun full day, but we'll make it through, cause we always do. Us and you, we can do it, chat together. Like I said, I try to be always on. I can't always be on, but we try. Right now what we're doing is just mining out, clearing space. And when we finish this here underground base, what we'll be doing is connecting it together to various other connections. And hopefully here soon my damn taxes or my work bonus or something will come through. It's the time of the year something comes through to help bail us out. And if something comes through to help, I'll get a PlayStation or a Minecraft subscription thing where we can get more people playing. And for the record, y'all, please don't troll me. Please don't destroy nothing on hardcore mode for funsies. I don't care if you remodel or rebuild, but none of those fun little, hey, what's this switch? Flip switch, an entire base blows up. None of that nonsense, please. By all means, you want to get on here and clear out a space and put in a farm? Fuck yeah, I'm all for that. You want to get on my server, find you a little part of a village and build a Venice or something? Hell yeah. But please don't mess with nothing that I got pre-built if it's something I did on hardcore. If it's on one of the other modes, I'm less likely to care as much because, you know, I can always redo it. But on hardcore mode, man, you kill me and it's over, you know? Either way. Oh yeah, Grandpa did terribly on Twitter, by the way. Grandpa Pedo Trump. Yeah, just saying, when you've never spoken in a way before, it's... Oh my God, dude, he could not have been more guilty. Our system's crashing out, and I find that to be very amusing.
I'm not saying that Trump killed Epstein. I'm not saying that at all. I'm like specifically not saying that. I need you to understand that I am explicitly not saying that Trump killed Epstein. I'm just saying if I was like driving in my car and I hit somebody and I somehow got away with it, but I saw them every time I closed my eyes, I'd be like, this guy never dies.
Yeah, he did kind of describe Epstein like a 90s horror movie villain. Which, I mean, he was worse than any slasher film villain, but still.
All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. This is a man who hasn't slept. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama? You know what's so good
Hell
about
yeah.
files written by Obama is that Trump was sitting there knowing he know Epstein. Trump knows Epstein so well. They were friends. Trump lived so close to Epstein in Florida that Epstein had to knock on his door and let him know he was on the sex offender registry. Like, that's how close they lived together. He knocked on the door and was like, hi, the court has ordered me to notify you that I'm in the area. I have been convicted of a few crimes, and I left my suit jacket over here last night, so... That's crazy. By Obama, it's a list. It's why are we giving publicity to fight? You know what it also is? This man was sitting here knowing that he knows Epstein. He's sitting here knowing that this looks very bad. And he did the DOJ thing, even though it's not directly tied to him, even though the president isn't allowed to interfere. He clearly did the DOJ thing when he told them to shut it down, and now people are rebelling against him, and he's sitting there like, how can I make it DEI? Obama! Thanks, Obama. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? So I guess...
And that's our 2 a.m. alarm.
In this scenario, and they wrote the files together in tandem, like Obama just knew that everyone in the Biden administration would be in the Biden administration one day, so he gathered them all together. But this is also before Epstein ever died or anything, so Obama time traveled to like right after to know it would hurt Trump, so then he came back in regular time and he sat down Hillary Clinton, Comey, Brennan, and the losers. He had to get all the losers and criminals of the Biden administration in one room so they could write. Also, wrote the files? Isn't it a bunch of documents? And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration, I do like that he said there are criminals in the Biden administration, but there are some people who aren't criminals. They're just losers. But I want to make sure I address them too. You're not safe. You're not safe just because you're not a criminal if you're a loser as well, alright? In fact, you're a loser because you're not a criminal, alright? I have 34 felony convictions, and I'm the president, okay? You out here not even a criminal. You can't even criminal good. Loser. And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia, Russia, Russia hoax, intelligence agents,
I love how Josh Johnson reads. I just gotta say that. I love this man. Because he reads it properly, and I'm sorry, but if you read Trump's nonsense properly, it seems like an incel thread. Seriously, y'all, go check out Josh Johnson. It was uploaded 3 hours ago. It's still just the numbers ticking away on views. but Trump versus MAGA, the Epstein crash out explained. I don't know if he did it on stand-up last night or something, but damn, dude, he cooking.
My so-called friends, as a world leader, my so-called friends is the most Regina George Mean Girls line I've ever heard in my entire life. My so-called friends is wild. Foreign diplomats, world leaders had a dinner that Trump was at, and they made fun. This is his first term. They made fun of him at the dinner. He could probably hear him in the background. They were laughing. It was like Boris Johnson and Justin Trudeau and other people, and they were over here doing him. They were over here, like, just, you know, making fun of him hard, cracking up, talking about how he doesn't know how to spell, everything. They were getting him good. They were roasting him. And this man comes back to the U.S., and I'm pretty sure it was Fox News that played the tape that somebody got of them making fun of him, not with a bunch of audio, and his head was down a little bit. You could tell his feelings were hurt, for real, and he was looking down and everything, and he just said, yeah, I didn't know that, like, they were, you know, like, fake like that or anything. Even in that moment, he didn't say, my so-called friends. My so-called friends is insane. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? And this is good. This is clever. He's doing what he does. This is the Republican talking point that's going to go around, look for it over and over and over again. Well, why didn't Biden release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could hurt Trump, that could derail MAGA, why didn't he release it? Alright, that's the most I know you are, but what am I logic I've ever heard in my life? Because you're the president now, so you could release them. I know that Biden didn't release them, but you could release them. You could. You could release them if you wanted. You could, like you could. You could, like I dare you.
Like I dare you.
I'm just saying, like I dare you. I bet you won't. I bet you're too scared. I bet you won't. But you could. I know Biden did, but you're the president now, and I thought you were a better president, so you could. You could do anything that Biden didn't do. You said that. You were like, there's a bunch of things Biden can't do that I can do the only way I can do, and one of those things is release the Epstein files. Like, dude, I bet you won't do it, though, because you're scared. No, this is funny, man. He's going through it. Why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy or the MLK Jr. files, which is a terrible idea to bring up different conspiracy-laden things while you talk about there not being a conspiracy. That's crazy. That's a terrible move. This man is derailing. No matter how much success we have had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons, it's never enough for some people. This man is spiraling. It's never enough for some people is not what a president says. It's never enough for some people is not how you speak as a president. That's how you speak as a dad who just finished a 16-hour shift and somebody tells you to take out the trash. It's never enough for you people.
Okay, that's Pixie that I'm hearing scratch. That's fine.
I'm gonna wait for 24 hours. It's my birthday. Yeah, thanks for the time. It's never enough for some people. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years, and that's true. That's true. We're all gonna die.
That's true, that's true. We're all gonna fucking die.
And we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, all caps, which will continue to be our clean priority, all caps. The left is imploding.
Cleat priority? What the fuck's a cleat priority? Oh, chief. He meant chief and didn't want to say chef. I get that. I've done that. I can't spell either. As some of you have pointed out in my videos. Invasive versus evasive. Well, what if it is an invasive plant? That motherfucker was dipping and dodging when I swung the staff. Just kidding, y'all. Though, yeah, when I beat those plants back, the sticks you see in the short, that was the broken staff bits from the weeds just being too much for my wooden staff. Also, that's the way I test a lot of my walking sticks, is knocking back invasive plants. Because if they can survive me knocking invasive plants back about 10 to 15 feet, they can survive whatever you're going to throw at them on the trail, within reason. That being said, I would genuinely feel just hurt if I made a wooden staff for somebody and it broke, you know?
A thing I read about a long time ago, there was this leader named Father Yo, and Father Yo was the head of the Source family. The Source family was this collection of people. Some people called them a cult and everything, but they mostly kept to themselves. Like, they ran like a vegan restaurant, I think, and they just minded their own business. But one of the most interesting things about Father Yo was Father Yo told them early on, before it was ever even really a cult, before there were even a lot of members, I'm God, and don't go to a hospital. That was his thing. And that happens in a lot of cults, by the way. Don't go to the hospital because hospitals are full of experts who can provide answers that I can't. So if I can cut you off from other experts, if I can cut you off from people reasoning in a way that is just direct with logic, I've already started to bring you into the fold in a way that you'll never leave. And so Father Yo would tell them, don't go to a hospital, right? And so they didn't. Members of the Source family would not go to a hospital. And they did what I would say was generally well for a cult as far as length. A lot of cults fall apart in those first few years. You know what I mean? First year, everything sort of starts out good. Everybody's just having a good time, making friends, living in a commune and everything. And then year two, somebody try to get you to drink something or do something else. Just people start coming for your mouth. You know what I mean? And all sorts of ways that get uncomfortable, and that's usually when the cult falls apart, because there are people that are like, oh, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to drink that, oh, that's weird, no, I'm going to go, right? And then that's when leaders sort of crumble and start having power grabs, and they get paranoid and everything. This didn't really happen, at least from what I've read, to the Source family, Father Yo, and they stayed together long enough that there were members of the community that started coupling and even having children. And it got to the point where they were about to have the first baby born into the Source family, but they can't go to a hospital. They can't go to a hospital, and something feels wrong. And no one can really describe what it is, but basically this member starts going into labor in real time, so everybody is looking over to Father Yo. You know, you said you were God. You told us not to go to the hospital. I think you have to deliver this baby. And so this man does it. He delivered the baby, but when the baby came out, it wasn't making any noise. And it wasn't moving at all. And people started crying. Everyone was devastated. There was so much joy around having a new person in the family. And Father Yo, he did something. I don't know what he did, but the members described it as him just clearing the airway gently a little bit, and out of nowhere, after all that silence, after no movement, the baby cried, and it started moving. And if he thought he had followers then, if he thought that they were believers then, we don't need a hospital. And it got to the point where one day Father Yo was like, you know what, I'm done with this whole earthly thing. I'm tired of healing y'all and everything. Everybody coming up to me all the time, I got a cold. Because that's what he would do. People would have a cold, and then he'd be like, and then they would still have a cold, and they'd just get over it in 2 weeks because it was a cold, right? But then when they finally got over the cold, he'd walk by and be like, did it? And it's like, all right, well. And so one day Father Yo said, you know what?
Alrighty, y'all. Welcome. We've made it a full-ass day.
I'll come back, but
19 minutes, and we got roughly about 30 to 40 more to go on the stream before I gotta run to work. Oh, before I run next door to get my ride to work. When I work the early shift and get off at the peak of day, I typically take what rides I can get because I don't want to die.
Straight down. This man a foul, right? And so the follower's like, oh, he went the wrong way. And come down the cliff and everything, and they come to get him. He laid out. I can't even do it. He laid out. Okay, he laid out like. But not like busted up. He's not dead. He's laid out like this. And didn't have any, to what I read at least, he didn't have any significant, any substantial, like, bruising or markups on his body. Another miracle, you would think. Turns out, everything stayed intact, but his guts were all upside down. Like, this man stayed perfectly in his body, but his lungs were in his feet. Like, and so they run up on him, and he over here laid out like, I can't even do it right. Like, he laid out like, when they find him, glider crash, he laid out like this, and they run up there like, Father, Father, and he's like, get me to a hospital.
What do you mean? No hospital. Fuck your rules. Give me to a hospital.
Give me to a hospital now. And the followers are like, what? And he's like, yeah, the one on 32 Roscoe, please. Hurry up and get me to a hospital. And there's different accounts of this. I'm sure that there's followers that say he never asked for a hospital. I'm sure there's followers that say he asked for a hospital immediately. But this dude is like, get me to a hospital. The followers are like, what? Why though? Like, you said never go to a hospital. You said that that's not real science in there. You said that you get sicker if you go to a hospital. We can't take you to a hospital. And he said, get me to a hospital. I'm serious. Oh, I feel something upside down. You know what it probably sounded like? I mean, I'm not there. We don't have the footage or anything. But I imagine if you fall 1,300 feet, you probably sound like that grape lady. Remember that grape lady that was crushing the grapes and then she fell and then she went, on camera. We didn't see her. Because I'm sure when he said get me to a hospital, they really didn't understand what he was saying at first because he was like, get me to a hospital. Get me to a I think my spine behind my balls. Get me to a hospital. But then my man looked intact. So they're like, no, he doesn't need a hospital, he just needs rest. And then he died 9 hours later.
Oh my god. No, now I want to look up what the fuck Jordan's talking about. He was talking about a cult leader, right? I'm gonna break it down for you without stealing from you. You might have heard in the background. But he's talking about a cult leader that basically in a foreign land, and this cult leader was, his big thing was just, you don't need a hospital. Don't worry about hospitals. And the cult had a good longevity. Like, it went on long enough, and he wasn't so crazy as to draw enough followers that, yeah, eventually the followers started fucking and made a baby. Made several babies, but the first baby is the important one. And again, it was, well, don't go to a hospital. And then the time came, and it was, okay, well, somebody's got to deliver this baby. And he, without any knowledge, no doctor knowledge, he delivered the baby. Now, like most babies, this baby did not come out screaming and crying. They came out silent, which freaked him and the other followers out, and it was real sad. And then he just apparently calmly, gently cleared the baby's airways, and the baby just came to life. It was beautiful. It was magical. And if you didn't have a cult following before and you do that, you will definitely have a cult following. Years pass and the cult's grown. He's basically a mega church, but in Thailand, for lack of a better judgment. And he finally just gets tired, and he's bought his own sauce long enough that he thinks he's going to use a glider, jump off a cliff that has a 300-foot drop, and go to heaven. He's just going to fly up there and rub elbows with whatever he saw as Jesus, possibly himself. So he plans on making this flight. He gets a glider, his followers are all there, very teary-eyed, okay guys, let's go. And without any knowledge of how to use a glider, again, remember, he's a cult leader. And no knowledge, he just runs for the edge of that cliff, and perfect 10 out of fucking 10 nosedive straight to the ground. Now y'all, I was an edgy boy when edgy boys were the thing. So I can tell you, Faces of Death has a segment where a bunch of high schoolers, or college students, I'm not positive of where, but they basically make the jump, and someone in their class didn't do the math right, so they go ahead and they all mass off themselves together, jumping off a building. And it was in the Faces of Death. So when you tell me the church leader jumped off this cliff, and it went straight, I mean, no glide, no oopsie poops, straight down like you were a rock in the water. Okay, so he turned to pudding then. No, actually, he kind of looked like a fly from the cartoons or something when it gets crushed, but it's not quite dead. The arms and legs splayed out in different directions and shit. And he hit the ground, but he didn't die. And his body was like, for the most part, it looked like it was intact. So all of his followers who he spent these years telling don't go to a hospital, and he performed these miracles, he's like, take me to a hospital. I want to go to a hospital now. Thank you. I really, really want to go to a hospital now. And they didn't. This man suffered. I shouldn't be laughing at it. This is a tragedy. But this cult leader suffered for 8 hours after taking a 300-foot fall straight down a cliff. He suffered for 8 hours napping in a bed, and I assume there wasn't a lot of napping done, before he just succumbed to his fucking injuries finally. But apparently, according to the reports, he didn't look that injured, because the human body's amazing, and I guess he just sort of hit the ground and certain parts liquefied. I don't know. But yeah, y'all, that's insane. That's nightmarishly. Because I want you to try to, let's flex our empathy muscles real hard here. Don't think about being a follower. Think about being the cult leader in this. Because you know that dude was so lost in the sauce, he probably thought he was talking to the divine. And so basically, oh God, let me come home. And God was like, no, son, you're not coming. Oh, your bitch ass gonna try to glide? Gravity on 10, bitch. Bam! Okay, can I just die? Nah, we're gonna let you hang out for a minute. Oh my God. That's insane, y'all. That is insane. Do you think there was a cult member who, like, knew what the fuck was going on? It was just, oh no, Susan had to give birth 3 times without any anesthesia. Bitch, you about to have a baby sideways. I mean, do you think that might have been what happened at some point in this? Because again, I like to think people aren't that stupid. Because I would like to think if a man takes a 300-foot fall straight down, you even if there weren't injuries, okay, nah, Holmes. Nah, fam, this ain't cool. You can't just this ain't Skyrim or nah, man. You'd think that'd just be common, just basic knowledge. Oh my God! And I'm not gonna say that they deserved it because nobody deserves that. But I mean, my God, don't tell your cult followers to not use hospitals. It's a great thing for the bite model and controlling people, I guess. But then you gotta remember that might be you too. I don't know, y'all. I think best takeaway from that is just don't form a cult. We're a community here, not a cult. Nobody should be telling nobody what to do outside of what's best for the group. But just in case it come up, if I should take a 300-foot fall down a fucking cliffside, hospital. If you fall off a cliff and somehow live after 300 feet, say the big word with me. Hospital. 911 if you're in the U.S. I don't know the ones for other countries. Feel free to drop your emergency numbers in the chat for anyone who happens to be visiting. But yeah, it's... Y'all, just my God. Just my fucking God. That sounds like... I don't believe in hell, but I do believe they gave that man a little taste of what hell would be before he decided to sign off. So he got to have both the highs and the lows of being human, I guess. Either way. I'm gonna get back to letting Jordan cook. I couldn't leave that one hanging, you know.
MAGA is turning on Trump. It just feels so much like, why would you? Wait. Why would he lie? He really doesn't understand. Trump truly doesn't understand why this thing won't go away, and it's because he doesn't understand people. You know, whether it's the MAGA base, whether it's Q, whether it's anybody online, anybody interested or concerned about anything to do with Epstein, all those people are people. So if you lead people on and you lie to people, they have a reaction. You can't just get something and give nothing in return. And people won't let it go, and they won't give up on it, because this man is real. He really existed. And he really destroyed a lot of lives. And for all of our faults as humans, we care about that. And so now we're not just going to let it go. It's not like some passing fad of a thing. I think it is to him because he just uses what he needs while he needs it to get what he wants. And once he has it, he throws it or the person who gave it to him. Something that some people are finding out right now. That he'll betray you on a dime. Nothing matters to him. Because if this thing doesn't matter to him, then nothing matters to him at all. There's no way around it. People care because vulnerable people were victimized for a very long time. And whatever part you had to do with that, it can't be covered up because there's nothing that screams I'm in the Epstein files like, stop looking for the Epstein files. One thing that I thought was incredible, one thing that put a smile on my face was when Rosie O'Donnell responded to Donald Trump talking about revoking her citizenship. I know I don't like to pull out my phone, but I want to read you what she said. You can actually look. You can actually. This is on her Instagram, so you can actually look this up for yourself. I'm not kidding. This is crazy. So first thing she does is post a picture of Trump and Epstein together, which is
Flex. Yo, Rosie O'Donnell be pretty cool.
genuinely hilarious.
I mean, she was genuinely one of those celebrities. Oh, people are being asses? Okay, never mind. I'll fuck off then.
Posted.
I mean, I give credit to Rosie where credit's due.
Rattled again? 18 years later, I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours.
Damn, yeah, Rosie still got it.
I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I watch the news all the time. I watch people try to defend Trump. I watch people attack Trump, and I'm chronically online. So I watch people insult Trump all day long, and I have never come across collapsing brains. Collapsing brain would actually explain everything. It would explain the made-up words. It would explain the spelling. You call me a threat to humanity, but I'm everything you fear. A loud woman, a queer woman, a mother who tells the truth, an American who got out of the country before you set it ablaze. You build walls, I build a life. I'm an autistic kid in a country where decency still exists. You crave loyalty, I teach my children to question power. You sell fear on golf courses. I make art about surviving trauma. You lie, you steal, you degrade. I nurture, I create, I persist. You are everything that is wrong with America, and I am everything you hate about what's still right with it. You want to revoke my citizenship.
Damn, Rosie can cook. Damn, Rosie O'Donnell can fucking cook. Get this woman a mic. I mean, she's cracking out hero dialogue here. I like it. No, I'm only going to give you a taste. I recommend you look on Instagram, and I would not recommend that site otherwise. Check out Rosie O'Donnell's response to Donald Trump, because, man, that about brought a tear to my eye. Because, okay, I'll give you some of it. Donald Trump, it amuses me very much that 20 years later and I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours. One, credit for collapsing brain, I agree with Johnson that I never hear anyone point that out, but that was really that was good observation. Tip of the hat. But then she goes on to say, you see, Donald, the reason you don't understand what the rest of the American people understand is I am the polar opposite to you. You're an evil man that sells fear and loathing on golf courses. I'm a queer mother who took their autistic child out of the country before you could set it on fire. I persist, I endure, you destroy, you decay. And I mean, just damn, she can cook. I can't give her justice for what she said. Check out what she said on Instagram. It's damn. I mean, points. Get this woman on mic and get her back on the main stage. This is, Jesus Christ, Katie, take fucking notes, Miss Perry. This is how the fuck you rebuff fucking toxic masculine bullshit. Because let's be clear, Rosie O'Donnell, from what I understand, did nothing wrong. She was an overweight lesbian in the 90s, which made her a target. She was an outspoken woman when everyone else was saying, shut the fuck up and put this in your mouth. 2:30. And I'll be honest, I gave Rosie O'Donnell a little bit of hate back in the day because I was a young man and stupid, and that's what all the comedians were doing at the time because she was an easy target. But let's be clear, the reason she was an easy target was she was there to amuse children and be a good influence and then fuck off, and that's all she did, and that's all she wanted to do. I mean, I don't remember her, and I'm sure she did serious roles too, but I don't remember her ever doing like an outright, this is going to be serious all the way through role. She typically played the fun aunt. And honestly, we did Rosie dirty, y'all. Rosie should bring her back, yo. I mean, honestly, I applaud nothing else other than just the fact that when she felt her time was over and people got hostile, she didn't become a Nicki Minaj or some of these assholes. She just, okay, fine, you don't want me, I'll fuck off. Took her money and fucked off. Like I said, y'all, I don't know enough about Rosie to sing all the praises. Maybe she did something highly controversial. But, I mean, back in the 90s, just being an out and queer would be very, very controversial. I mean, let's be clear. The entire country music world lost their goddamn minds with a band formerly known as the Dixie Chicks, now known as the Chicks, because they simply said, hey, the war in the Middle East is wrong, and we don't like that Bush, the former Trump. We don't believe that we're not proud that Bush is from Texas. That was all it took, and they got death threats, lost record labels. I mean, everyone was making fun of the entire band, but they especially were going to town on the slightly more rhododendron member. Now, let's be clear, there's a reason I didn't call her fat, because she wasn't. She was a little bit overweight, but not much. Just a healthy weight for somebody. But yeah, suddenly she was compared to farm animals, just terribly rude shit. People were assholes. And it's like, huh. Okay, now what the hell do I need to do to make a... what do I need to do to make a copper hat or a golem? I was told this is supposed to be the new thing that we can do. It's still not letting me do any of it. I'm tired of seeing the videos for copper. I'm tired of it now. Especially if it ain't gonna let me do anything with it. I can still do cool shit with it, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not as advertised. I can't make my golems. I can't make my chests or my armor. Unless I'm doing it wrong, in which case, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to make an anvil? Make a little smithery over here? I don't know. We'll figure it out, though, y'all. Fret not on that. But yeah, we did Rosie dirty. Bring Rosie O'Donnell back. We got like 20 minutes before I gotta get up and run. Maybe a little less, depending on if I get a message. Yeah.
Billy, y'all been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I hope you had a fantastic time. I had so much fun with you. Thank you for an incredible weekend.
Go with Dark Brandon. Just for a minute. Because as soon as this video is over, I'm probably going to have to run. Baby turtles? Not yet. Right. Oh good, I do have glass. Hell yeah.
right? So, again, they're talking about accountability while showing absolutely no accountability whatsoever. And she's not calling her team out for this. And granted, you know, it would just be a nightmare to be a Republican commentator right now and to deal with so much hypocrisy and contradiction all over your face, and it's just like frizzy stamp. And then she tops it all off.
That feels like a reference to something else.
Who doesn't even understand that Donald Trump is the deep state?
What does that accountability actually look like? Is it just firing Pam Bondi, creating this monster? Is it
I don't think Pam Bondi created this monster.
And again, cognitive dissonance on display. She doesn't want to make this connection that Pam Bondi, that Pat Patel, that Dan Bongino, we're all at the direction of Donald Trump.
Now let's go make some ladders and make this lookout point.
We are seeing the outcomes of his orders. It's not Pam Bondi who made this mess. It's Donald Trump. Wake up, Liz.
All right, we are delighted to welcome to the program Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna from the great state of Florida, a Republican from that state. She's on the Oversight Committee. She's also on the task force on declassification. Congresswoman Luna, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Liz.
All right, Congresswoman, what's funny is the last time you were on my show was February 26th.
Oh, shite.
And I remember
Alright, let's do that. And then we'll do this.
one day before I went to the White House and was handed by Attorney General Pam Bondi that infamous white Epstein binder.
And so this is interesting and worth noting, right? Liz Wheeler was part of the group of influencers who received
We got 21 ladders. Hopefully that'll be enough to do something.
because you would think she would feel more burdened than everyone else, right? When you're handed something that says phase 1, it's an indicator that you're eventually going to get something named phase 2. And instead she was told, nope, nothing else exists. And instead of getting angry, instead of finding blame,
Oh, we're about to get eaten alive, I think. Yep. Fuck. Ah, well. That was fun while it lasted, right, y'all? We'll get a new world going, get a save done, and that was my bad. I dreamed of a uniting bridge between realms. We will get our realm done, y'all. But first, let's get spiffed up, because that was a major death, so let's do a bit of editing. Let's see.
And I have no idea, actually, in that moment, if she was aware that people on the video was talking to me on this show the day prior to that.
So all this shows is the complete incompetency of every single one of these people. You can see they're all working against each other. It's actually kind of poetic and beautiful on some level. And also kind of sad that society can't
Yeah,
see
I'm gonna go with the earrings, though.
morons they are. Like, literally, Pam Bondi is complaining to Liz Wheeler about Liz Wheeler posting Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Posting Congresswoman Luna. Or Liz Wheeler or Congresswoman Luna not calling out the Rules Committee that are literally shutting down everything they're trying to do. Living a life like this will just make you go insane. The lies you have to tell yourself to make it all make sense, and the anxiety that will bring you. And we will see all this play out over time.
But you were actually right. You called me after the Epstein files, after that debacle happened. You called me and warned me about Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Yeah, why not? We'll go with the bandana.
Well, we just, you know, for everything that
I just saw Clippy from Clip Art and had a flashback to when I was younger.
felt that
Either way.
messages or letters went unanswered, and I've been for a while.
And this is also something, right? That the MAGA misogyny is not just for men, but for women to use against other women also. Well played, Liz.
I'm gonna go with the kilt, because why not the kilt? The kilt looks awesome.
Switch over to Benny Johnson and Laura Trump talking specifically.
Alrighty. I'd say we're ready to go now. So, one more round at Hardcore, because I know I ain't going to get the $10 to create a server anytime soon. This will be attempt 15. Don't want my coordinates, do want my days played. None of that matters, none of that matters. We'll do 10 chunks so we can see better. Alrighty. No, no, continue. See, scroll back over here. We got the general, we got that. Give me a minute, y'all. I done fucked up. Alright. Let's create that. It'll be alright, y'all. We'll figure out a way around it. We got about 20 minutes where I gotta be across next door, and I want to still get a live stream for y'all. So we're gonna just quickly build something to build the hideout. Possibly dig into a cliffside or something like that nearby. And we're gonna focus on the interior more interior than exterior this time around. Got us some fuel. Get us some trees. We got a beach right there. Perfect, perfect. Excellent. We'll make it work this time around. Sam, honey, I would say that's because nobody wants to come here anymore. Honey, we've stayed outraged. Also, just saying, she's not really well versed at what she's trying to do here, because, the amount of ums and is just not good when you're speaking officially. You need to speak in fluid notions like you've practiced and rehearsed what you're going to say, because the American people want clarity, but they also want professionalism. So you have to walk that line in between the two if you're going to be a spokesperson for, well, America. That's just my opinion. I think we're about to basically, once we get copper in on this mountain, is to go ahead and build a little connector here. By the way, that was just for making fun of Pam Bondi. That wasn't because I needed that long a pause. Also, I find Paul's words like or to be unfortunate unless you're going to only spend a few seconds. For example, an should sound almost like you're having a little burp, not really like your next word, please. But then again, what the fuck do I know? I'm not a public speaker other than what I've been doing here, and that's not nearly enough to be, you know, proper public speaking. I feel like I do pretty good, but I'm by no means one that you should listen to above anyone else, you know? I'll toss that in there. And let's go get some more wood for the rest of the trees. For the rest of the stuff like the doors. Okay, also, can we get over this nonsense of if you're a true friend? I was not a friend of Obama. I was not a friend of Biden. I was not a friend of Kamala. I was not a friend of any of these politicians. And neither were you unless you knew them and they knew you. Friendship is a two-way street, folks. I would even say that most of you, I hate to say it, are not my friends. You're my fans, my followers, my dear community. But friendship is a two-way street. Eli's getting close to friendship, as is, well, David is my best friend. Forget-me-not's a good friend. I have friends on here, y'all, but there is also parasocial relationships, and those are fine. By no means do I mean to demean any of our closeness, dear friends and comrades. But you should not be friends with a political movement. They are not your friends. Because, above all else, and if you played, like, more dramatic games than Minecraft, like in Metal Gear Solid, I cried when Quiet was gone. But, truth be told, that's a pixel. I think us demeaning the friendship of friends makes it, I don't know, bad for us. And again, I don't know. What the hell do I know? I'm just some schmuck on the internet. I'm just hoping to entertain y'all by what I build. Okay, we're gonna go with the darker wood for coal, and we're gonna get some torches going so that we can have safety in here. Just for the moment. Because like I said, soon this is going to be quarried out on the ground. We're going to have a base, and it's going to be basically a entryway to going down. Oh, look at that, more coal. But, before I do any of that, why can't I make doors? Oh, duh, because I need more planks. I want oak doors for this one. And 6 should be. Why can't I make doors? There they are. Oh, why does my oak door have a giant hole in it? one of those, one of those. And I'll have one door that's just mixed. One of those. And two of those. Okay. It should be set now. Let's perfect. Not perfect enough. But alright. Huh. I mean, I'm not going to go too far on that thread just because until we have proof, the word anti-Semite gets thrown out a lot, and I don't want that label. Though I am, I guess. Well, I don't know. I would need to know the exact definition you're meaning, because I'm not against Jewish people. I'm not against Israel as a place. I do think it's a colonial power, so much like if you told me if I could wave a magic wand and nobody would be hurt, but America would be returned to its people who owned it originally, well, bet I'd wave that magic wand faster than your hands could wave. But as far as, like, you know, reasons, within reason. Oh, wait a minute.
But you know who is really just the Machiavellian person pulling the strings behind the scenes? I mean, that Hillary Clinton, she got back at her husband Bill, who cheated on her with Monica Lewinsky in the
Okay, y'all, that is my alarm to go do my morning stream, if we're gonna do it. No viewers as of yet on here, which I totally get. Live streaming on the PlayStation is never very beneficial compared to YouTube. But we're gonna do a quick babbling on live stream right quick next door. And we'll be back later. This is day 0, so it should be fun to come back to. Y'all be good, and we will see you later. Bye for now.